Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Monday, December 5th, 2016. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. Officials so far have recovered 33 bodies or victims that were killed in the warehouse fire in Oakland, California on Friday night. They're speculating there may be as many as 8 or 9 more people who are yet unaccounted for who will be identified as having been killed in the fire. The fire occurred beginning at about 11:30 p.m. Pacific time Friday night at a warehouse that had been used as a music and artistic venue. There were apparently about 50 people in the building at the time. The cause of the fire is unknown. According to diagrams that have been printed in the media, it was a little bit of a maze, so unless you were familiar with the facility and the fire broke out, it was unlikely you were going to be able to find an exit. It's the worst fire in the history of the city of Oakland. A massive fire has swept through a four-star hotel, the Regent Plaza Hotel in Karachi, Pakistan, killing at least 11 people. The fire began in the kitchen on the ground floor before spreading through the building. There were at least 50 people injured in the early morning blaze today. TV footage of the incident showed guests at the hotel using bed sheets to climb down from windows. 32 miners were confirmed dead yesterday in the second coal mine explosion in a week in China. The explosion hit the mine at Chifeng City in Inner Mongolia on Saturday. Of 181 miners working underground, 149 managed to get out, but the rest did die. The mine was operated by the Bioma Mining Company. News of the blast came just hours after 21 miners who had been trapped for 4 days after an explosion hit their unlicensed coal mine were confirmed dead in northeastern China. 4 people have been arrested in connection with that disaster. The cost of cleaning up the Fukushima nuclear disaster of 2011 that left 19,000 people dead has nearly doubled from the previous estimate. It's now coming in at about 22.6 trillion yen, or $201 billion. In 2013, the Japanese government estimated the overall cost of wrapping up the disaster at about $98 billion. The disaster, the nuclear part, was caused by the loss of power and cooling at the Tokyo Electric Power Company Daiichi 1 plant, which caused 3 reactors to melt down. Since that time, 160,000 people have been forced to evacuate, never to return again to their homes. In addition to that, extensive cleanup operations and decontamination efforts have had to be begun. The total now, as I mentioned, is up to $201 billion. Tokyo Electric Power Company estimated that it may take up to 30 years to get back that money through payments. And when pressed further, they meant that electricity companies would have to, electricity consumers would have to pay a percentage of the cleanup through higher bills, essentially a tax on the public to pay the debt of a private utility company. Over the weekend in Italy, Italian voters overwhelmingly rejected Prime Minister Renzi's proposals to overhaul the Italian constitution to actually make the government more responsive and work. The vote yesterday was widely seen as a referendum on the Prime Minister, who promptly announced his resignation. The results represented another victory, supposedly, for anti-establishment movements in Europe. The populist 5-star movement, led by Beppe Grillo, who actually is a former clown, said that times have changed. As a result now, Italy will remain in paralysis. The markets have shrugged it off so far. An ongoing state of limbo in Italian politics is something that unfortunately is the norm. A German court has sentenced a train controller in Bavaria to 3.5 years in jail over a rail disaster that killed 12 people and injured 89 in February of this year. The 40-year-old defendant, named as Michael P., admitted making a signaling error and dialing the wrong emergency number. 2 commuter trains collided on a single track near Bad Aibling. The controller also admitted having played a computer game on his mobile phone just before the crash. He expressed huge guilt in the case. He said, "I'd like you to know that my thoughts are with you," he said to survivors. Investigators had begun looking into the controller's phone data sometime after the crash, and it was revealed that he had been playing the fantasy game Dungeon Hunter 5 on his phone when he allowed the two trains onto a single track. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe will visit Pearl Harbor with U.S. President Obama at the end of December, becoming the first leader of Japan to go to the site of the surprise attack that propelled the United States into World War II. His unexpected announcement this morning came just 2 days before the 75th anniversary of the attack, and 6 months after Obama became the first sitting U.S. president to visit the Hiroshima Memorial for victims of the U.S. atomic bombing of that city. It's interesting how times have changed. There's the famous photo of French President Mitterrand holding hands with German Chancellor Helmut Kohl at the Verdun battlefield, scene of a grisly battle during World War I between the French and the Germans. And now we'll see the American president and the Japanese prime minister standing together in Pearl Harbor. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.